Hey everybody, what's up? What's good? My name is Kennedy, and today I'm going to be doing my January wrap-up for the books that I've read for the month of January. I will say right now that I do not have one of the books. I do own the book, but I let one of my coworkers borrow it, so I don't physically have the copy, but I will insert a picture of it in the video for you guys. And let's just get right on into this. There were so many good books that I read this month. I wanted to read more, but I didn't get as far as I was hoping to, which is okay. But yeah, let's go ahead and start off with the first book. So the first book that I read in January was Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo. Sorry, I'm trying not to get flash. But this was Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo. I freaking loved this book. I rated it 5 stars on Goodreads. It was really, really good. So much diverse world building, such cool characters. She embodied the characters very well in her writing. So many people have either read this or they haven't read this and they want to read this, and if you're thinking about it, I would highly recommend it. It's got drama, it's got love, it's got mystery, it's got comedy. It's just a really well-rounded book. Loved it. So the next book that I read after Ninth House was Bunny by Mona Awad, and that's the book that I actually lent to my coworker, so I don't physically have that copy with me, but I will insert a picture and I will kind of give you my thoughts. I gave that book a 3 on Goodreads because it just wasn't exactly what I was expecting. It was very I was expecting dark academia, and I was expecting the whole prissy bunny cult vibe from the book, which it did deliver. It just wasn't, in my opinion, it wasn't dark academia. It was it wasn't about the love of magic and what that magic can do. It was, the magic made no sense and the magic seemed purposeless, to be completely honest. And I don't know, the book itself was, it read quickly, it was pretty okay, but I did find myself every time I thought about finishing the book or getting back to the book kind of meh, I just wasn't engrossed in it. I just wasn't, point blank period. It was not my favorite read that I read in January for sure, but 3 stars. If you want a really weird, out of the box type of read, I would definitely recommend Bunny by Mona Awad. Okay, so the next book that I read in January 2023 was The Push by Ashley Audrain. This book was crazy for me because I didn't think, first of all, I read the back and it was intriguing to me. It was about a mom who is exhausted by being a mom. She thinks that there's something wrong with her daughter, Violet. Her husband won't listen to her, and she's seeing all these little signs, and she sees these things within her daughter and within her behavior and her character that are alarming to her, but no one is really reciprocating those feelings with her. It's a dark twist. It's definitely more of I feel like a psychological thriller. I'm not exactly sure what this was classified as, but I'm pretty sure this was a psychological thriller. Yeah, just very, very, very good. It really puts you in the mind of a mother and how they think and how they process things and how they work through things, and it was really good. And me not being a mother myself, it was very, very interesting, and it was fast-paced, and I want to say I read this in a day and a half, and that's because I had to work. I did rate this 5 stars on Goodreads. Okay, the next book that I read in January was the second book to Ninth House, and this is Hellbent by Leigh Bardugo. I did like this book, and I did give it 5 stars on Goodreads, I'm pretty sure. It was a continuation, obviously, of where they left off in Ninth House, and it was really, really good. The storyline moved quickly, but we didn't get very many other plot twists in this book. I feel we kind of just tried to solve the problem kind of got solved, and now we're back to where we kind of not started, but it's a whole different dynamic. So she did not throw any plot twists within this book, but she left the book off in a manner that definitely lets us know that she's probably going to be writing more. And I did read an interview, and she is going to be writing more. I think she's going to be writing like 3 or 5 in the series, so that's pretty exciting. But this book was really good. I'm thinking about doing a more like in-depth on the series, but I'm not 100% sure. But I did really like this book. Very fun read. I want to say I read it in like 4 days, but again, that's me squeezing reading in between work, so yeah. The next book that I read in January was The Mountain Is You by Brianna Wiest, and it's pretty tabbed up, but this one took me a little bit longer to read for the simple fact that I was really trying to like absorb everything that she was saying. I think it took me like a month to read, and I did a lot of like tabbing and highlighting and note-taking and stuff like that, so that's why this took me longer. It was more of like a project book. I don't have enough good things to say about this book. I have been struggling on this like journey of mine, trying to heal and trying to get back to my roots and, you know, figure out really who I am. And this book like really opened my eyes to the ways that I am hindering myself from doing the things that I love. And one of those things is YouTube. Like, I've always been talking about doing a YouTube channel, and I just never had the actual confidence to do it. So really helps me like take the plunge to be able to be here with you guys today. So I really owe this to that book. I really owe this to this book. I'm gonna be doing a video of like all the books that helped me heal when I feel like that is completed for me. This is an invaluable resource, and I think I told my best friend, because my best friend's reading this too, but I was like, I feel like everybody at birth should be sent home with this copy for like later on in their life, because it's just really that good. So yeah, highly recommend. It was a great read for January. Okay, and the last book that I read, the 6th book that I read in January, is The Poet X by Elizabeth Acevedo. This is a library copy, but I checked this out. I had been wanting to read this since I was in high school, because I do a lot of poetry myself, and I love slam poetry. Like, I'm obsessed with slam poetry, kind of like a spin-off of that, and that's why I was really intrigued on picking this book up. So it's a little on the younger side, not necessarily, but like it reads like a younger adult book, so I didn't necessarily know if I wanted to purchase it, so I checked it out, but I think that I might end up purchasing it just because it's a really good book for inspiration. Like, I wrote 2 or 3 poems out of like a blockage after I finished this book, so really, really, really good. It's about a girl who in high school, and her parents are really, really strict, really religious, and she struggles. I mean, she has all these different opinions in her parents, and you know, she wants to see boys, and she wants to go out and date boys, and her parents don't let her do that, and worry about her coming into herself, and in a poetry type setting. So it was really interesting, and it was really fun, and I read this in literally a day. I mean, it was so quick, just because the words are like small. It's almost kind of similar to like an Ellen Hopkins book, and the pace that it reads at. But yeah, really good book. You can see it's won a bunch of awards here. Really, really loved this book. All right, guys, that wraps up all of the books that I read, minus one in this stack, but all the books that I read in January of 2023. We'll have another video with my January TBR coming up very, very soon, so probably gonna film it right after this. So if you see my hoodie twice, that's why. If you guys liked this video and you guys want to hear more about what I like to read, and you guys want to discuss things, all that fun stuff, then yeah, stay tuned, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Thank you guys so much, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.